This is the afternoon edition of the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Tuesday, May 22nd. I'm James Spann. Alabama's weather heating up and looking dry for a while. We'll check some of the Skycam shots around the network this afternoon. We'll start with a view coming from Trussville. A partly sunny, comfortable day in May. Temperatures only in the 70s in most spots. It feels great out there. Dew points are pretty low. Some spots have dropped into the 50s in terms of the dew point this afternoon, and that means the air is drying out. Always nice looking at the view coming from Chehaw State Park, Alabama's highest mountain, south of Anniston. Partly sunny there. And down at Gulf Shores, you're getting setting for another big party. They're breaking down the stages from the Hangout Music Festival this past weekend, and now they're getting set for Memorial Day weekend down there. A lot of things happening. Weather looks just gorgeous if you're beach bound. Sunny days, fair nights, really no significant chance of rain for a while. Here's the deal. Got this trough passing through. That brought those big storms late last night, early this morning in the pre-dawn hours. And that's moving on to the east, and that's going to take the deeper moisture with it. And that will be replaced by this upper high later this week. And that's the reason it's going to heat up. And look at those numbers. Hey, we'll take those any day here in late May. It can be hot this time of the year. Most spots are in the 70s at 2 o'clock. Birmingham at 75. Tuscaloosa, the only spot up in the low 80s. They've got 81. There's the radar at 211. Not much to show you. Most of the storms are over the far northeastern corner of the state, up in Jackson County, and then farther northeast up toward Chattanooga and north of Atlanta. And we'll hang on to a chance of a storm over the eastern side of the state this evening, but most places will stay dry. SPC has moved the slight risk of severe weather pretty much out of this part of Alabama. They've got southeast Alabama in that. That would include Dothan and Eufaula and Phoenix City, much of Georgia, down into North Florida and South Carolina. Hail and gusty winds the main threat. Another slight risk way up north. Tomorrow, slight risk over the upper plains. And on day 3, which is Thursday, slight risk again, way north of here, and that looks like summer. Rain for the next 5 days. Not much at all. This valid through Sunday morning at 7 o'clock, and most everybody's going to be dry as this big upper ridge sets up across the deep south. Tropical weather, Alberto fizzled out this morning as expected. It's no longer there, but we're watching with interest that disturbed area of weather in the Caribbean. It's not organized at this point, but we'll see. Water's relatively warm. It's not, again, over much of the Atlantic basin. It's actually cooler than average, but for the Gulf and close in, the water is pretty warm. We'll keep an eye on that, but again, no sign of any organization. Let's check the GFS. This is the 12Z run, valid at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon at 500 millibars. The trough is moving on to the east. Another big trough carving out west. And down below that, just a calm, warm day, sunny with mid-80s. And the dew points will stay pretty low tomorrow. In fact, some of the models have the dew point dropping into the upper 40s during the day, so that's going to be a very comfortable 85. Thursday, upper 80s likely. Both the GFS and the NAM are at 89. Dew points creeping up a little bit, but still not too bad. I see green on there, but I don't think we're having any rain. Friday will be in the low 90s. The GFS is printing 92. And Saturday, as we start the weekend, whopper of a 588 heat bubble right on top of us. And a big cold trough in the west. And, of course, for us, that means a hot, dry day to kick off the Memorial Day weekend. The latest GFS is printing 93. It'll be just like that on Sunday. And we note that, broad low down there over Florida. Kind of keep an eye on that. If you got a trip down to Orlando or Tampa Bay or Daytona, you might have a lot of rain to deal with, as it seems like they're kind of within that deep layered tropical moisture down there. But again, around here, we're in great shape. And Monday, Memorial Day, moisture tries to creep in from the south and east, but I think the upper high will keep us dry. And again, low 90s are likely. Highs for the weekend every day should be somewhere between 90 and 94. You'll know that it's Memorial Day weekend because it will feel like it. And a week from today, the upper ridge breaks down a little bit, and down below that, moisture comes up, and that should mean some risk of scattered showers by Tuesday of next week. And we're getting into the season where we have to depend on the scattered afternoon convection for rain, and we'll take anything we can get. About the only organized, really big rains we have here in the summer, of course, come from tropical systems. We'll check the end of the forecast. Not the end of the forecast. We're approaching the end of the forecast. This is June 3rd, and I thought this was interesting. All of a sudden, the GFS is painting this deep upper, low, and trough over the eastern U.S., and if by chance that happens to be correct, that would suggest cooler than average temperatures there. And then on June the 7th, that's the end of the forecast. That thing is replaced by another upper high, and that would be just hot and dry, typical June weather. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes on the blog. Next video here by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Don't forget to watch us on ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 on the live stream or on the television side. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless. The first thing you've got to understand, you cannot rely on an outdoor siren. You cannot hear those inside a home, a building, a church. It won't work. You've got to get something inside your house. That's a weather radio or maybe a smartphone app. We work with a company that's developed a wonderful weather radio app for Android phones and iPhones. It knows where you are, and if you're in a tornado warning polygon, you get the warning. And if you're not, you don't. It's an effective device, and it's a great way to be sure you get the warning.